Oh, Broncos Country! Welcome to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on the Orange and Blue Network and on the MHRT Network. It is so exciting to be live with you tonight. We've got a lot to talk about, good feelings, bad feelings, all kinds of things, just mixed emotions going everywhere all the time. But we are all Broncos fans. We all bleed orange and blue. And this is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. So we're better to talk about it. Let's go right now.
Smooth, the pins to chew, breaking down plays about to debut. Never pride in every view, nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Bright lights of my heart in our view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. From draft picks to game reviews, celebrating wins and the lies and the clues. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. No orange and blue.
Nothing rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
What's up, Broncos Country? How you doing, Orange and Blue crew? This is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on the Orange and Blue Network and in partnership with the MHRT Network. We are live there too. I am Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking, your host for this evening of debauchery. Sorry, that was awful. And with me, as always, my childhood best friend, my cousin, Jay, the Denver Dream Weaver.
Bruh.
What's up, Jay? Bruh.
What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing tonight?
About the same as I was Sunday, honestly. I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at,
It's almost that I've had a little bit more time to soak and a little bit more time to further research some additional topics about to get emotional about. Because right after post game is just kind of off the cuff, just kind of naked eye. And now you get a couple days to really figure out why you're mad.
Yeah, really digest it. Really feel what you're. Really get into your feelings. Feel your emotions. All right,
Absolutely.
guys. Welcome to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. This is September 17th, 2024. A couple days after week 2 of the 2024 season. We've got a lot of thoughts, both good and bad. We're everywhere, man. Everything's so mixed. It's so mixed. But you know what? Is really good to mix? Is Dubby. Dubby's really good to mix. So click on the link in the bio beneath, guys, and check out the sponsor of today's show, Dubby Gitterless Energy Blend. Dubby comes in a multitude of absolutely delicious flavors. There are so many delicious flavors, guys, and every single cup of Dubby has 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine to give you that kick, to get your day going, to get you started as you go throughout your day. But you don't get the jitters and you don't get the crash because there is no sugar. There is no maltodextrin. There is no artificial fillers. There is no artificial colors. There's no calories, for crying out loud. It's nothing. It's completely natural. All right. It's nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics, including their patented neurofactor that helps keep you sharp throughout your day without the jitters and without the crash. It's so worth it, you guys. So make sure you click on the link below, get yourself the dub by going over to dubby.gg and put in your very first order for Dubby. I'm going to help you make that dub even sweeter, though, because you're going to punch in code NRWOB10. That's right. NRWOB10 gets you 10% off your order. Check it out, guys. You got nothing to lose. I promise you. I promise you. Now, Jay, how are we feeling? We're 2 days removed now from the game. Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick. Last little bit here. Last little bit. Make sure that if you are watching this on the MHRT network, or this is your first time watching and you have not already, please jump on over to Orange and Blue Network. Give us a like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you feel on YouTube, X, Facebook. You can also find the audio version of every one of our shows on wherever you listen, on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. But then jump on over if you haven't already and go to MHRT Network. Give us a like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. Hell, we're even on Instagram. Come check us out. Like, subscribe, share. Takes a couple seconds, and you guys won't regret it. I promise you. All right, now for real though. This time for real. How are you feeling, Jay? It's been 2 days.
I don't feel great. The tape looks really bad. There's a lot of rough things when it comes to play calling. That was the biggest thing. I feel like I have less burden on the players as far as execution than I do in the play call situational awareness of putting our players in good position. I'm more angry with Sean Payton after a couple days of soaking compared to I was more upset with the players, I feel like, right after the game. I don't know. But where's your ratio here as far as player execution or setting themselves up for success coaching wise?
So, I mean, okay. Watching the tape again, after Sunday. I watched it again yesterday. I didn't have a chance to go delve back into it today. I always try to do it 2 times before we go live again, but I just didn't. Time was not permitting on my side for me to watch it twice. But watching the tape again yesterday, one, I did definitely come to the conclusion that the Steelers have a very, very, very good defense. It is a very good defense, and even with some player execution issues on our end, their defense is, the kind that can shut teams down, and they almost did. They almost shut us out, which sucked. I don't ever want to see that again. I think it's not as bad as the feeling we had after the Miami game last season, but it's still a very bad feeling. And but on to your point, who am I holding responsible? Well, I mean, the title of today's show is Still Early, What is the Answer? And and that I still hold true to that. It's still early. There's still plenty of time to make improvements, make changes, figure out where the ball stops with this whole thing.
Yeah.
However, just like you, I feel like Sean Payton bears the brunt of blame on all of this. I don't understand how it happened. I don't understand how it happened that he could be removed from the league for literally only 1 year. Go into retirement for 1 year, come back, and suddenly you can't coach. I don't know if he's second guessing himself or if he's trying to do something he hasn't done before.
Well,
with it, but
let's be honest though, he has never ever had success with a young quarterback. Even post Drew Brees, he had vet quarterbacks that were seasoned and knew how to command a huddle, knew how to get those play calls that are, paragraphs long.
Sure. However, I will say, after digesting the film again, Bo is not the problem.
I wouldn't say so. I'm still on that even after post-game.
I said that on Sunday. I said it on Sunday on post game with you, and I'm saying it now after watching it again. Yeah, there's a few moments that he has a few mistakes that are you can obviously tell are his mistakes. But for the most part, those are the kind of you expect a rookie to make some mistakes. He's a rookie. That being said, he is not the problem. So anybody who's out there on, I mean, you don't have to agree with me. You don't. But I'm saying it to anybody out there in Broncos country on watching this on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, wherever you're watching it. stop blaming Bo. He's a rookie. He's young. He still has developing to do. Okay? He is not the problem. Jay, you hit the nail on the head. The play calling is the problem. We saw some success when we got away from the vanilla, the vanilla play calling. And once again, once we started playing hurry up, Bo Nix excels in fast pace, hurry up situations. Once we stopped doing all this huddle, wait for the clock to tick, and playing like vanilla call playing for very simple plays where we could predict it.
Well, and what's weird is as vanilla as it is, it's super complicated. Like, I'm trying to find it because it was just phenomenally placed, and it was a Benjamin Albright little nugget on X at this point this week, and he was like,
paraphrase if you have to.
It was a paraphrase basically of, you should look at the success rate of the offense when they get the play in quick and they get to the line and have time to settle. So basically, the quarterback Bo Nix has time to like take a breath at the line instead of being so quick because the play call isn't coming in as fast as it needs to be. And those plays, I guess, that he charted out were overwhelmingly successful compared to the plays where we're scrambling to get to the line. Bo Nix is looking back at the sideline saying like, let's go. Like, what's the call? Like the same kind of things that we saw from Russell Wilson, that everybody was like, well, Russ is probably just dumb. Russ doesn't have the capabilities of being able to run an offense like this. He didn't run that sophisticated of an offense in Seattle. But, I mean, we're kind of seeing that, well, maybe it's a little Sean Payton fault of, man, dumb this down a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to be that complicated for as vanilla of play calling as you're making. Like, no, it's not complicated.
It shouldn't be. We have some of our good friends in the chat right now. Mr. D Rock saying Mile High Country. He says, I feel like extremely hungover and a huge scar on my lower back.
Well, that's too bad. I mean, sounds like violence.
Yeah, really.
Should get that checked out.
Rich says, so I hate to be right, but, and he disagrees with me. He says, Johnny, you're wrong. The issues are clear. Wilson or Stidham should have started the season too. Nix is struggling to see the field. Our offensive line is not good at run blocking. We showed that last year. Agreed about the run blocking. I still believe that Bo was the clear-cut starter.
The great Zach By says it all the time. Two things can be true at the same time. And the best position for us to win this year very well could have been Stidham or obviously Russell Wilson. I think we would be in a more progressed state of our offense if that's the case. But we're living with the atrocities that we're seeing before us because we have hope that they're going to turn into successes down the line, and we're living vicariously through his struggles. So it's the whole floor ceiling thing that we spoke about post game.
It is, and the thing I'm gonna bring up is, once again, we shouldn't necessarily really be surprised about this. Some of us got surprised because we got over romanticized, we got overhyped, and I'm the first to admit I was one of them in a big way. I mean, some of my early season, my preseason predictions definitely have not come to fruition. I will be the first to say I over romanticized and I got overhyped. That being said,
it's a trap.
We should not be that surprised. This is we knew coming into it this would be a rebuilding year likely. If it hadn't been, it would have been great. But unfortunately, we're seeing the truth. We're seeing the truth that has been there all along, that we just wanted, that we as impatient fans, okay, and two, as fans of a franchise that has enjoyed for the majority of its existence a winning record. We just weren't ready. We just weren't ready. That's all we can say. We are in a rebuild. It's happening. Okay. And now And it would have been great, like I said, if these guys had taken to the field and our over romanticized, overhyped stuff early on was correct, but unfortunately, it's not. It's not. So,
And, again, I think there's something to be said about, like, what do we do for our offense right now, today, to get our best result and our best product out there next game or last game, or like the immediacy here? That's not necessarily the same thing as creating an environment for development for Bo and getting him, acclimated to the Sean Payton system and getting our offense to a point where it can go full force once we're 3/4 of down the line in the season. Like Richie Richie says, like, the current fix for this team is clear. We need to run bookend tight ends, run 12 or 13 personnel. And he's not necessarily wrong, because that is what you do when you have a struggling quarterback and you have a struggling offense in general.
unfortunately, right now we have a struggling tight ends room. They can't catch the ball.
Well, there's that. There is that. But I haven't seen Troutman really even being involved at all. And
Nate
he's
Atkins
supposed to be technically number one.
We saw Nate Atkins, but he didn't make the catch.
Yeah,
one time
neither has Dulcich.
Yeah, which, by the way, I mean, like we were talking last week about how unacceptable it was from Cortland Sutton. Watching the film again, the drops by Greg Dulcich this game. Come on, dude. Really? Yeah. Really? Like, what? They were in your. They not. It's not like they even went through his hands. Like,
yeah,
they hit you in the hands. You gotta secure that ball, man. You're even wearing gloves. You can't even blame it on your hands. You're wearing gloves. You know how much easier it is to hold that ball in gloves?
It's very tough to decide what the right direction for this offense is right now, because although Richie is correct in that that's traditionally what you should do if your offense is in this, pickle that we're in here. But on the flip side of it, what Bo is most comfortable in is fast-paced, shotgun, spread it out type of offense. And that's what he's been most successful with.
So I mean, I guess then the question is,
those are opposites.
You have to the question, excuse me, I'm sorry. Obviously, again, rebuild, considering a rebuild, weighing winning versus developing, which is more important right now.
They're not the same thing.
To me, they're not. Winning, we can win games, but it would honestly, if you were to do it that way, in my opinion, it could hinder the development of Bo.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, and again, I am not saying that I'm right about this. I'm saying this is what I think. I think that the development of Bo Nix is far more important right now than this team winning right now. So, I mean, do you agree, disagree? What do you see?
I don't think there's a right answer. And it sucks because we don't have the personnel to be both things. I would say out of all routes to go, I would say you play what Richie is saying, only because I feel like we have a better personnel set up from our offensive line. Like, Ben Powers is a grinder type of guard. Quinn Mira
Miners.
Miners is a offensive line guy that's a grinder. He's not pass pro. We aren't set up to be a spread offense. We don't have the speed. We don't have the wide receiving core. We don't have what Bo Nix needs in the system that's best for him.
But the problem is, what those guys are built for, we're also struggling ridiculously in, and that's the run game.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Garrett Bowles has sucked. McGlinchey's gone. He's going to be gone, what, at least a month?
4 weeks. At least a month.
At least. So that's not going to get any better. And really, when you're looking at the tight ends, I guess Atkins is considered a tight end, even though I don't really believe he is. Like,
he's more of a fullback.
Dulcich is not a blocking tight end. So you got Troutman, and that's it. Like, as far as like your guy that if you want to run 12, 13 personnel and you really want to commit to, that grind kind of offense, we're not really set up for that either. So we're
No.
kind of like fucked if we do, fucked if we don't. Like,
Yeah.
it's
So,
grim.
speaking of, and I'm sorry I didn't talk about this beforehand. I've really been looking into our last few shows and on our new no cursing rule or our
Oh.
new cursing rule. So I think now the new rule should be like in the middle of some things cursing, every now and then is fine. However, I've been getting feedback from some people saying we curse too much.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I can feel that. I can see that. Some feedback I got was we have been cursing too much. So I'm going to tone it down in an attempt to I'm not saying I won't drop, a few here and there, and I'm going to try to avoid the F word at all costs. But I'm not saying I won't, an S word or something else, won't drop here or there, but
pent up. I think it's pent up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just years of no cursing at all. We were like, okay, you know what? We're going to curse. Well, we're going to tone it back. For those watching that have been some of those that had approached me, I had several in my DMs. I even had a commenter on Facebook bring it up after the show, like, post live show on Sunday, being like, you guys are cursing a little bit too much. It's actually almost forced. And I was like, okay, well, we'll back down a bit. So I just wanted to say that. Now, and again, thanks to everybody who's in the comments right now. I'm gonna get to your comments. I promise you. Richie Rich A, thank you for jumping in. The host of the Wild Wild West podcast over on our partner network, the Mile High Roundtable. We're really starting to. By the way, I just want you to know the integration of our two networks. Well, not integration, but the partnership is really starting to mesh in a way. I will be hosting their during the game podcast, The Neighborhood, for the Broncos game on the 29th. Mundungus, who is the host of The Neighborhood with his co-host Bronco Bill, he's not able to do it. He asked me if I'd fill in, and I was like, dude, I helped found The Neighborhood years ago. I'd be honored. So we're definitely starting to see it. And by the way, Jay, do you know how many viewers we had live post game last week?
No, I don't.
Over 3,000.
Well, damn.
I know, it's getting real, man. It's getting really real. But we have our one of our hosts on the Orange and Blue Network, Don Diaz, a 6'10" Mexican, popping in saying, "Saludos, Broncos Country. I just opened my Takis and now I'm watching Baki." I like that. I love
Takis and Baki. Hot
Takis
and Baki.
Yeah. Takis is one of my favorite snacks on earth.
Which favorite kind? You like the blue?
Not really. I'm not a fan of the blue. I'm not at all. I like the Fuego, of course, just the classic purple bag with the red, but the red chips. But then I really liked, and they had it for a while. I haven't seen it for a while. It was an orange bag, and it was just like this super hot cheese.
Yeah. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Those are super good too. My kids like those.
I love those. Yeah, they're so good. But yeah, it's so good, being here right now with you guys, and we have. Oh man, everybody's coming at me with the swear word stuff now. Mundungus is already dropping in the F-bomb there. I'm not gonna say it. I'm trying not to.
Naughty.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so sorry, here we go. I apologize. Neighborhood had 3,500 live. Post game we had about 350, but that's still more than we've ever seen. Yeah, but that's still more than we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. Rich says people need to stop slandering Peyton. See, that's the thing. I don't feel like it's slander so much because right now I believe he's the I believe his play calling is the problem. I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability to fix it. I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability to fix it, to change it up. I think he does. I think he's smart enough. But Jay did bring up a point on Sunday when I brought up his intelligence, and that was he is a very what did you say, Jay?
Arrogant,
stubborn,
SOB.
arrogant son of a bitch. That's right. That's what you said. He is a very arrogant man, and he's not. And right now, I don't think he's to the point where he's willing to admit he's wrong.
So
That
he's
what he's doing
obviously
is
not giving up play calling to Lombardi. That's never going to happen. Like,
no. And he won't. And I don't think anybody would ever expect that. It's more just, it's more just right now he's not willing to admit that that his play calling is the problem. I think eventually he won't have a choice. I think eventually it's gonna get to a point where the Walton Penner group is gonna be like, "Hey, Sean, come see us in our office. We need to talk." And then they're gonna be like, "Hey." And okay, again, Rich says, "Look at the missed reads by Bo." Okay,
two
all
things
right,
can be true at the same time, though.
exactly,
Like,
exactly. There have been missed
you're
reads,
right.
which again is one of those things that you expect to see from a rookie quarterback.
But
However,
in the same breath, D-Rock brings up this clip on Cam Newton's podcast that Sean Payton was the head coach of the Saints. He had extremely long play calls, and even Cam said it doesn't have to be extremely long for a call to be as simple as an RPO. And that's, yeah, I just, he's notorious for having extremely long play calls. And that works when someone is a veteran, when you have Teddy Bridgewater, when you have Jameis Winston, obviously Drew Brees, et cetera, et cetera. But for a rookie, it's a lot. It's a lot for him to, figure out on top of not having the personnel to support it. So there's too many things in the negative in Bo's corner right now that he's not really getting a great fair shake here.
sure, and again, I like what you keep saying there, Jay. Now, I always struggle with the whole that multiple things can be true because I'm a believer in absolute truth. Now that being said, I don't think absolute truth fully applies in the game of football.
Correct.
But so when I say absolute truth, for those that don't know what I mean, I'm talking more like in things, and we don't get political, we don't get religious on either Orange and Blue Network or Mile High Roundtable. But in terms of things like religion, I believe that there's an absolute truth, and that when someone says what's true for you just isn't true for me, and I'm like, no, that's false. One thing is true. We can both be wrong. One of us can be right. Both of us could, but both of us can't be right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean by absolute truth. However, I concede that in the game of football, that's a different story because you can have bad play calling with a bad quarterback. You can have a great quarterback with bad play calling. You can have bad play calling with a great quarterback who makes it work. There multiple things can be true. And I like what you're saying there, Jay. I think it's an excellent point. It might end up being our mantra of the season for the season is multiple things can be true. Is that Bo's a rookie? The truth that I see right now, Bo Nix is a rookie. He does three truths right there. Bo Nix is a rookie. Yep, there's a truth. There is he does not have a cast that is supporting him right now, and Sean Payton is not executing great play calling right now. Three truths. There it is.
We've got a lot of people. We got a lot of people with truths here. Mundungus has a great truth, which was I gave a game ball just so that I could stand on the soapbox for a second. But Tyler Beatty with one rush for 16 yards, and apparently that rubbed someone wrong because he didn't get the ball again. That is cray-cray. So there's a great truth. And then Rich has Jay wears glasses, and Johnny is never beating me in a 40-yard dash. Those are other truths.
Listen, I can't beat anyone in a 40-yard dash. Okay, I walk with a cane. You son of a bitch. But regardless, you're right. You're right, and I mean, plenty of truths. D-Rock brings in his own truth, that one that I agree with. Sean Payton isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We have a rookie quarterback and subpar wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. Boom! Literally all the three things I said. Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, in a way, it is what it is, guys. This is where we're at. Can we, as the ooh, Rich, you made him swear, says Mundungus. Hey, I didn't say I was going to stop completely. I just said I was going to tone it down a bit. I did go back, by the way, Jay, after people did bring it up to me, to include, of course, certain family members of ours that watch this show,
Oh, sure.
including our 89-year-old grandmother who watches this show religiously. But it wasn't just them; there was others. So I did go back and watch a few of our last, couple shows, and I was like, "Ooh, you know what? We are kind of forcing it a little bit too much." We don't. It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to be a Todd Phillips movie. Okay, this isn't The Hangover.
Oh, what did Richie say up here? Was you should stop with your George Carlin impression of cussing.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that is one of the greatest comedy bits of all time. However,
it is. All
right. Yeah. No. And Rich says Grandma Baki is annoyed. Not Grandma Baki. Grandma Weaver.
This is true.
Mine and Jay's shared grandmother. But yeah, and swear jar policy? No, I'm not gonna. We're not gonna. We don't need to go that far.
Each other accountable. I will just use it for emphasis. It just, it won't be a lollygag kind of thing. So.
Yeah. All right. So you and I, Jay, at least seem to kind of agree on, in principle, what the problem is, and that it's coming in multiple places, multiple forms, and that all of those are true.
Yeah. Like,
and
another tie into another podcast. Our offense is a clusterfuck.
Which, by the way, is live on MHRT Network tonight. Go check it out, Avalanche fans.
Great stuff.
But
go Avs.
Yeah. Go Avs. Absolutely. But now defensively, now granted, total flip. Now, granted, we were going against Justin Fields. Jeez, Rich has really grabbed onto our grandmother for his comments for the rest of the show. Grandma Weaver's soap of choice for the grandkids is, got to clean out that potty mouth. What did Grandma use? And yes, she did. Palm olive, I believe, was what Grandma had in her in her bathroom above the sink. I think it was palm olive.
Something like that. I remember it being orange.
It was orange. I don't remember what it was though. Mundugan says new swear jar policy. 1 swear gets a smiley face. 2 swears gets a like. 3 swears gets a heart. 4 swears Johnny gives Grandma Weaver my phone number and she yells at me. Here's the thing. Since we're on the topic of our wonderful, wonderful grandmother, because I will say Jay and I can both agree our grandmother is one of the coolest human beings alive. We're talking about an 89-year-old woman who I took to Grand Lake, Colorado, about 5 months back, who sat on the back porch overlooking Grand Lake of this cabin we were renting and sipped whiskey and smoked a cigar with me. That's my 89-year-old grandmother.
Yeah. I was gonna say
tough as nails too. I mean, she's beaten cancer.
Have a beard.
She's beaten 6 different cancers 7 times. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm not making those numbers up. She has beaten 6 different types of cancer 7 times, and she is still going strong. And still manages to watch the Denver Broncos every single Sunday. That's right. That is the wife of this guy, Papa Bear, right there. She's the best, man. So, let me see. Clusterfuck is live on Thursdays. My apologies. You're right. I'm still. We've only just now over the past few weeks really, we begun this partnership with MHRT. I'm still trying to figure out the days that everything is on so that I can shout it out.
It's preseason.
Yeah,
it's preseason
Tuesdays
hockey.
and Thursdays. That always confuses me. I always get mixed up because of the T. So my apologies. Clusterfuck is Thursdays. Sorry. Anyway. All right, so defense we were kind of talking on before we got back on to talk about our grandma. Yeah.
I want to start there. Because Baron Browning's hurt, correct? What was it? A quad? I don't remember what the injury exactly was.
Quad or ankle? I can't remember which. But and I don't have it up, and I'm not going to go look for it right now. But
nope.
Yeah, I mean, he's limited. He's not out. He's limited.
Correct. Not sure if he's going to play or not, but hasn't been the greatest anyways. I think Cooper has definitely outperformed him thus far.
Dude, where Cooper's come out, and I mean, I almost say out of nowhere, but I mean, it's not like we didn't know that he had the potential. It's just,
I would say, and I've been very surprised by this because I thought coming into the year, Baron Browning was our number one clear cut. But I would say I would give Cooper number one right now. Then I'd honestly go Nick Bonito, even though he hasn't made like the direct impact. You see the bend and you see the fly. Like he's got jets on him. You're finally starting to understand the potential that Nick Bonito has. He needs some seasoning. Sometimes he spins to the inside when he should be keeping outside, or vice versa. Small little things like that. And then my gosh, Jonah Ellis, just a sack last game. I have been extremely impressed with him. Like I feel like Jonah Ellis has made Baron Browning expendable. I'm gonna probably guarantee we don't pay him because I would have thought Baron Browning would have probably commanded more money because of Cooper. Because Cooper's the one that has the heart condition, right? That's why he dropped in the draft. So I don't know. Where do you stand in the pass rushing?
Cooper's the man. I mean, he has proven it since he proved it through the preseason. He's proving it now 2 games in. Excuse me. He's the guy. He is him. Yeah. He is they. However you want to say it. I apologize, guys. I keep making adjustments. I have I've been moving around in my house when it comes to podcasting, and I finally have my man cave back. And but it's a new configuration in here. I'm just trying to get a feel for camera angles and everything like that. And I didn't like the way it was looking. I wanted to change it a second ago, so I apologize for that. See, I just did it again. But but no, I think that Jonathan Cooper is definitely the clear cut number one right now in the pass rush. I mean, it's not even close right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say because of Browning's injury, Nick Bonito has stepped up some and needs to step up more.
He's raw. He's raw.
Very raw. And here's the thing. I kind of get the feeling, and this may just be me, but I kind of get the feeling whenever I've heard Nick Bonito interviews that the guy is kind of Jerry Jeudy like, in that
I could see that
he doesn't take well to criticism. He doesn't, and if you sit there and you're telling him, "Yo, Nick, you gotta figure some stuff out here, man." He's gonna take it more personally and not really fix anything. It just kind of gives off that vibe whenever he's been interviewed, and I just don't enjoy that very much. I mean, I want to like the guy, and I really hope that he can be something for this team. But right now, he is definitely not one of either 2 starters. I mean,
he's not an every down pass rusher. He's a specialist. But he's special. I truly believe he is special because I mean there are some moves that he has that are unlike anyone else on the roster.
Yeah,
he has a unique skill set.
Yes. Yeah. D-Rock says Zach Allen is my number 2 on defensive line besides Jonathan Cooper.
Well, I mean interior is a little different than I think just pure pass rush. But
yeah, I mean, but I mean, the pressure that Zach Allen has been bringing from the middle has been.
Zach Allen's been the MVP of the defense, in my opinion, thus far.
Absolutely,
like, he's been it.
Absolutely. Since we're talking about MVP and defense, can we talk for a second about the struggles of the best player on our team this last game in the form of Mr. Pat Surtain II? Because, like I said, going back and watching the film again, I found myself furious with Patrick Surtain. It was a very uncharacteristic game from him.
A lot of hand play, some holding, even if it wasn't called. There was a couple of plays I remember seeing that, like, dude, you're holding, man. Like, I know it wasn't called, but like, you need to get your shit together. Beep. But it, I was very surprised.
That
I
was
don't
a
know
very
if maybe
that was a very well placed curse word, by the way. Well done.
I don't know if it was George Pickens that like just got under his skin, and that was like maybe just a person that he just didn't mesh well. But he just didn't look like himself.
One thing I can say for sure is that Pat Surtain is very, very active on social media, on Twitter especially. And George Pickens' comments earlier in the week about Pat Surtain very easily could have gotten him frustrated and angry before it all even, before the firing gun even, was fired. The starting gun
Yeah.
was even fired. Because I don't know if you saw them, but George Pickens had some very almost personal remarks towards Pat Surtain on Twitter.
George Pickens is an interesting character. He's,
He is.
typical diva wide receiver, but I mean, he's a beast. He can back it up.
He can. Here's the thing that Pat Surtain, we need to see from Pat Surtain for sure. Look, dude, you got your big contract. Don't get lazy now. Okay? Don't get lazy just because you got your contract extension, and you're the man. You are the man that we look to on this team as our best player, the best player on either side of the ball. And consistently, since we drafted him, he has not been one to really commit very much in the way of penalties. He's tight coverage without he's just like Sauce Gardner without being like Sauce Gardner, if that makes sense. Like he can commit, he makes all these really tight coverages, really, closes really tight windows, but rarely do we see him get called for any kind of penalty. And to see, first of all, you were right, Jay. Why the hell was he on special teams at all?
Yeah, I totally disagree with that. We have enough people that have roster spots purely to be special teams that we don't need the best player on the roster to be on special teams. That's nuts.
Agreed. Entirely agree. But that being said, even on defense, he committed 2 different penalties. Why?
He did.
Why? What was going on there? I mean, hand fighting is one thing, but there was obvious bear hugging going on.
Mm-hmm.
Between him and George Pickens on that one play that he got called on. And I'm like, dude, that's not you. That's what a rookie cornerback trying to make his name does. That's not a Pat Surtain play. So I really hope he looks at it, watches the film, and goes, dude, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, and it shapes it up.
Isn't it weird though that like we completely characterize, rightfully so, that I would say George Pickens definitely got the better of PS2, but if you look at the box score, George Pickens had 2 catches for 29 yards.
Yes,
so it's
yes,
not like,
absolutely.
Not like he absolutely destroyed him or something like that. Like
George Pickens didn't destroy him by any means. He still played. Pat Surtain still played a Pat Surtain game that way. What we saw from him though was something that we've never seen before, and that was multiple
losing his cool.
Losing his cool. We saw him going the route of Aqib Talib, man. Like
snatch your chain.
I'm just saying, like, unnecessary penalties, things that didn't have to happen. Now, on the other side of the cornerbacks, Riley Moss. Dude, gotta learn to get your head around and look for the ball.
Yeah. I have a feeling that there will be a time where Levi Wallace is going to start getting a little bit more of those snaps on the opposite side.
Saying, man, like, and there was multiple ones that didn't get called, but he was not. But like, I watched several plays. I watched several plays, and I don't remember who he was guarding. It was several different wide receivers in this situation, or receivers in this situation that I'm talking about. But I saw several plays in going back over the film where, even though his target wasn't targeted by the quarterback, I never once saw him turn his head to look back. He was just like tunnel visioned in on his coverage target. And I'm like, dude, that can't happen. because you don't know if that ball is going to be coming your way, and when it does, because you didn't turn your head, you're going to get called for pass interference every time. And that can't be. He's got to learn to turn his damn head.
I think we will end the year with McMillian as that slot, and then we're gonna have Wallace and PS2 on both sides. I'm
But
I
again,
think
we
that,
talked about it the other day.
unfortunately,
Wallace is a Band-Aid. He's not
he
a
is. You're
long-term
right.
answer.
You're not wrong there. You're totally right.
I mean, he's a veteran that we brought in on a 1-year deal. Jay, we said it. We need to start. We're not trying to bring in veterans on 1-year deals right now.
Fabian Moreau, it's the same old,
Mhm.
same old that we keep on doing. But I mean, to be honest, our defense is the only reason we're in any of these games. So it's, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it just.
Yeah.
So
here's a mini report card. I think Barton and Singleton combo has been a little bit better than I anticipated. They've been doing pretty well as far as firing gaps, playing really good run stuffing, and really even playing some kind of zone coverage kind of things too, because I've seen Singleton drop back on some plays that I was kind of surprised that we would put him in that position, but he did fine.
He did fine. I mean, Cody Barton, we already knew that he's strong in the pass defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I did notice that. I did notice that we saw Alex Singleton dropping into coverage a little bit, a few more times than we're used to seeing him do, and that's a good thing. If he's getting better at that, that means that he is improving, and that's that's all we can ask for. I mean, Alex Singleton has been, like him, love him or hate him, which. I'm shocked actually at how many in Broncos country don't care much for Alex Singleton.
That's crazy.
One, he's a really good one. He's a really likable guy, just in general. But two, he's a hell of a football player who's led this team for 2 years now in tackles. He's awesome.
He's captain.
But that being said, he definitely always did struggle, and to see him definitely as a veteran, because he's not he's not old. But he's not a young linebacker anymore either. He's been in the league enough years now, and he played 2 years in Canadian Football League.
Yeah, something like that.
Before he came down to Philadelphia.
To Philly.
So I mean, he's been playing long enough now that he's definitely a veteran player. To see someone with that much mileage still, being able to improve in facets of their game is very, very encouraging.
Yeah, it is. Really is. I mean, it's just incredible because, I mean, the Steelers only had 110 total passing yards. They had 141 rushing yards. And based upon the, type of offense they run, Arthur Smith, ground and pound, 141 on the ground is really not that big a deal, relatively speaking. Our defense played extremely well. Our defense has played well enough in the first 2 games that a normal offense should have been able to carry their weight, and we could be 2-0, based upon at least how that side of the ball was played.
If we were able to play a little bit more complimentary, it would be. And here's the thing. Again, I'm going to say it because I keep on saying it. It's early. This is still... I feel like I get it right now. Even right now, after 2 games, it feels like we've watched an entire half a season already, and are just angry. But it's not, guys. This is only game 2.
Yeah,
there is still 15 games to play in the regular season. I'm just saying, there's room to grow. There's room for improvement, and it can happen. I'm not, again, that's not, don't go misquoting me and me saying that the Broncos are going to be a playoff team by the end of the, by come playoff time, and they're going to turn everything around this week. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, week by week, we're going to see improvements. Believe it or not, there were improvements on this game from over week 1. There were not like monumental, not like just, oh my God, did you see that kind of moments. But some things that we struggled with in week 1, we had improved upon in week 2. And it will continue to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe not the pace that we as the fans want to see, but it will happen.
We just need some vibes. We need some positive vibes. Like D-Rock basically saying, since TP departure, which, when he got that touchdown in the preseason and the entire team rallied around him and jumped and like congratulated him, you could see how much everyone, had stock in his journey. Everyone loved TP. And him leaving, I think, was a pretty big dagger to the culture, the feels, the vibes around our team. And that takes a little bit to get over.
Alive! Yeah. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We've got Bob Skinner popping in. Oh no, the Broncos suck. Hey, it's not for everybody. Look, good things come to those who wait. Now I get we've been waiting a long time at this point. I will acknowledge that wholeheartedly. But we knew, I said it at the beginning, I'm saying it now, even though some of us got a little bit surprised because we got a little bit too hyped. We knew this was a rebuild. And patience will reward. It's just a matter of staying the course. Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at. That's how I feel, and that might just be the optimist in me, but that's where I'm at.
Yep.
Let's see, Blitz. Did it feel like Courtland Sutton is running in mud? It's like the effort isn't there. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but it feels like his heart is out of it.
Yep.
He
wholeheartedly agree.
He doesn't look like what he did last season, that's for sure.
Well, it's because he loved Russ, man. He believed in Russ. He thought that Russ was going to be the difference maker and put him in the playoffs, and get a good culture back for the team. And I kind of feel like a part of Cortland's holdout wasn't just about money, but with some leverage, honestly, because I don't know if he wants to be here. I don't know if he wants to be on a rebuilding team. He's been there, done that almost his whole career. And I can understand him maybe wanting to change it up in the same way that it's probably Justin Simmons would never admit it, but I'm sure he's got a little smile on his face being on a different team. Just a different culture, a different environment, fresh start. Probably not the worst thing in the world.
Totally redeem yourself!
I hate seeing Justin wearing anything other than orange and blue, but he's gone. And my Justin Simmons jersey is currently collecting dust in my closet. I hate it. I hate it. But it is what it is, and we can move on. But I do agree with Blitz on this one. Yeah. He doesn't seem to have his whole heart in it, and I hope things can turn around that way. But I mean, if someone doesn't want to be there, they're not going to put in what's the line from Deadpool? Maximum effort. That's it, Jay, right there. New soundbite going on the board for next week. Maximum effort from Deadpool. Maximum effort.
I would say if we can get any draft pick for him near the deadline, pull the trigger. Because we're not going anywhere quick.
Well, I mean, a great point by D-Rock here in regards to that. Can we all agree to start Reynolds in the second half because he's not doing well in the first? I mean, Reynolds will be the starter if Courtland Sutton goes.
Yeah. I'm all good with Reynolds and Vele once he's healthy. Because Vele looks like he's all in, ready to go.
Absolutely.
All heart. I like Vele a lot.
Oh boy. We got Richie Riche's Raiders co-host of the Wild West, Mr. Jack Kenna, in the house. He says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Has Richie said I told you so in starting Knicks?"
Well,
yes, he has. Yes, he has. And you know what? It didn't hurt me at all because I still believe we made the right decision in Knicks.
Dude, Gardner Minshew's like top 5 in the NFL in passing yards. Isn't that crazy?
It's disgusting. How did that happen?
Nuts to me. That is nuts.
I mean,
The Raiders are they're overperforming what I think most people thought of, but they've got things rolling. It was a very surprising win over Baltimore. So
Yeah, it was.
tip my hat to that. That's pretty impressive to walk into there.
I still will never root for the Raiders ever, but I mean, no, and I agree. I like what Jack said. I like that. Thank you, Jack. I agree in starting Knicks now, and I don't, and I've listened. I've heard Jack talk about this on Wild Wild West, and Jack's not just saying that because he likes that right now we're doing as badly as we are with Knicks at
we
the helm.
suck.
He's saying that because he truly believes that Knicks is the clear cut starter in all of this. Yeah. Mundungus says Broncos like to develop their rookies. How about the Raiders? Well, I mean, it's kind of a similar story there.
Hey, that Brock Bowers is going to be something else.
He's going to be something special, man.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I wouldn't have been upset if we drafted him. I know that is
he was
to not get your quarterback, but
listen, hey,
that was my guy.
Look back at draft night when we were live during draft night, and I mean, who did I have as my top pick if we didn't get a quarterback at 12 was Brock Bowers. He was the one I wanted. The Raiders picked right after us, and they got him.
Yep.
So I mean, it was us, and Jack Kennedy, Knicks was the best QB throughout all preseason. Yes, he was, and we're in the regular season now. I don't know if you've heard my analogy there, Jack, but last week I came up with an analogy kind of talking about people talking smack about how good he looked in the preseason versus now. One of the things that I said was, because I've been out hunting and I've gotten cornered by a pack of coyotes once, and that was terrifying. Coyotes are, they're mean, nasty little shits. All right, and so they can be kind of terrifying. However, the preseason, being a rookie quarterback in the preseason is like going up against a pack of coyotes. It's scary. It's tough. You got to be careful, but it's nothing like once you get to the regular season when the guy's coming at you is actually just a giant family of grizzly bears. And I'd much rather take on, it's a lot easier to take on a pack of coyotes than a family of grizzly bears. So that's I make that analogy because that's and everybody's like, well, how come he doesn't look the same as he did in the preseason? Because he's not. And everybody's like, well, he went up against 2s and 3s. Yes, coyotes versus grizzly bears. It's my own analogy, and I'm sticking with it until all season long because at least until I stop hearing these. Well, come he doesn't look like he did in the preseason comments because it's different. The regular season is a totally different animal.
I'll say one transferable that we did see from preseason to regular season was D-Rock's comment about Tremont Smith. Tremont Smith's been a baller since the very first day of training camp. Our special teams has been balling. Tremendous play out of him and just special teams overall. Very impressive.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you even noticed, Jay, we haven't done a single one of our normal segments tonight. We're just talking, and I'm kind of cool with that.
Yep, that's okay.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. Blitz coming in with a great point. Caleb not doing well either, so Bo will definitely bounce back. He was way better this last game. Yes, he was. And again, I'm going to bring this up back now that we're back on Bo Nix for a minute. Thanks, Jack. It's all Jack Kennett's fault. We were off of the Bo Nix talk, but now we're back on. I was going through, it was actually on Facebook today. Usually it's on, usually we find all of our golden nuggets on Twitter, but this one I found was on Facebook. And it's the same thing that we talked about after week 1. The Bo Nix starting versus John Elway's rookie start versus Peyton Manning's rookie start. I saw another one that came out today, and it had through 2 games instead of just the one. It had the stats the stats for each of those QBs: Bo Nix, Peyton Manning, John Elway, Troy Aikman, and a few others. I can't remember the others, but off the top of my head, I think Dan Marino was one of them, though. And it had the stats through 2 games, and the likenesses between these legendary quarterbacks and Bo Nix's start are very similar. That's not me sitting here saying that Bo Nix is the next John Elway, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, or whoever. That's me saying it's still too early to be punching that panic button. Like that was last week's episode's title was it's too early to hit the panic button. But
Way too early.
But the similarities, and even some of these legendary Hall of Fame level quarterbacks had way worse 2-game stat lines than Bo Nix has right now. So calm down about it. Jack says, I love analogies. I will say a season later. Glad AOC 12 got playing time third string. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see. Mundungus pops in. I still would love an explanation on Timmy P. We could really use him. There's no explanation needed, Mike. We've already, Jay and I said this on, what was it? Was it post game or pre game?
Post game. That was post game. Yeah.
Why did we let go of Timmy P? Why is he gone? Because he's old guard. There's no other reason. He is gone because he was a leader for multiple seasons through multiple regimes that were not Sean Payton regimes.
It's almost like Sean Payton saw the whole team crowd around him on that touchdown grab in the preseason, and he looked over to his coaches and, "Oh, we can't have this. We can't have this guy around here."
What was? You know what? We don't have the sound. We don't have the sound bite anymore. But we used to have the. Oh hell no!
Nope. He ain't gonna trump me in my bowl.
Sean Payton's like, I got my plans. This guy has been here too long. Through too many other too much other leadership for me to be comfortable having him here still. That's the only reason he's gone.
Again, arrogant son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's just his personality. Like he's full of himself.
But that kind of thing happens all the time. Those that are new to watching. And by the way, we're at an hour mark, Jay. I hope you don't mind going a little long tonight while we finish up discussions. But those that are just now watching for the first time, I'm a U.S. Army vet. Okay, so I use a lot of analogies and things like that from my time in the military, and I can tell you right now, I had commanding officers come in who replaced leadership, but within the company, battalion, whatever, as soon as they got there, because they were like, you were leadership under my predecessor, I'm coming in. I'm the leader now, and I'm going to install leadership that's loyal to me. That's all it is.
Well, and Mundungus, to answer your question of that, the only reason that Sutton kept and Timmy was gone is because Timmy was dumb enough to restructure his contract to only have $1 million cap hit. He didn't originally. If you recall, Timmy P and Sutton had very similar contracts.
Very similar.
They signed him at basically the exact same time, but Timmy P was like, "Well, I really want to be here, so like I'll work with you guys. I'll restructure." And that is exactly what sowed his whole destiny. It's kind of sad.
That's part of it. That's part of it too. But I think another part of it. See, one thing we do forget is that George Payton is still in the picture. Jay, shocker.
Yeah, I'm floored. I eat a little crow on that.
You definitely eat crow on that. You definitely eat crow on that, cuz
I am surprised by that.
But of course, the Penners and the Waltons, they're not standing idly by just watching. They have a say in things. And I kind of feel like, even though they weren't here when Courtland Sutton got drafted, I think that somebody would have had something to say if we had released, when you took two wide receivers as similar as Tim Patrick and Courtland Sutton, and then you released the one who had who was a higher draft pick, who had been on this team longer, and who, who has, again, Jay, you said it a few episodes ago. A big reason the Timmy P thing happened was, what have you done for me lately?
2 years, dude.
Tim Patrick has been out for 2 years. Courtland Sutton, on the other hand, has at least been, while he's not doing it right now very well, has been a contributor over the past few years, while the Walton Penners have been in power, have been the owners. Yep. And so I guarantee you, if Sean Payton said, no, let go of Court and we're keeping Tim Patrick, I bet you anything. I would bet you my left kid. No, I bet my left kidney a while back. I got to keep it though. This time I'll bet my right kidney that it was probably talked about, and somebody in the ownership group was like, because Tim Patrick hasn't done anything, but Cortland Sutton has lately. So, Mundungus wants to know, Jay, why would you be surprised that George is still there?
Well, that's an easy answer. Come on now. Because Sean Payton runs this show, and the only reason George Payton is here, in my opinion, is because of the Walter Penner Group. Because the Walter Penner Group trusts George Payton and wants George Payton to be kind of a middleman buffer. I personally thought that the Penner Walton Group would give Sean Payton everything, the entire keys to everything, and then therefore Sean Payton would say, "I don't need George Payton. Like, why do I need you? I do everything."
Do you remember what I said? Do you recall what I said to you? And that was Sean Payton doesn't want to be doing general manager duties.
Yes, but he has people. Like, he has his own team. What you just said is when you have a new regime change, they bring in their people, and they always do. And George Payton and Sean Payton are not the same people. They are not the same group of people. Not in the same, not even close. So that's why I'm surprised he's here. But, the more the merrier.
Jack popping back in saying, at least the Broncos got something for Judy. Ruggs is serving time. Yet, it's kind of shocking. What happened with that wide receiver class? Just like, Jerry Jeudy didn't work out in Denver. I still don't really care for the guy very much, but applause for him. He's actually making some waves in.
He's doing well in Cleveland. Yeah.
He's just their top wide receiver for him. I still don't care much for the guy.
No.
But I don't care much. I really don't care for anybody who thinks about me. All the time. I can't stand those kind of people, and that is very much who he is. Huh?
Footwork videos, off-season footwork videos. Look at my feet.
No.
Get back! I'm singing for a vomit.
But no, I don't know if I know. I titled this episode still early. What is the answer? I don't know that even I have an answer to my own question on that. Yeah, there you go. Jack Kenna, facts. Only CD really worked out.
Well, Justin Jefferson might have something to say about that.
Well, okay, that's true. I forgot that Jefferson was in that class.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, I think, is better than CD Lamb.
I mean,
he's number one in that class.
Listen, I never wanted Jerry Jeudy. I actually wanted Henry Ruggs. So that's
actually, looking back on when we were in that draft and we were thinking about that, I wanted Ruggs as well. Because I thought Ruggs had the top speed, take the top off of an offense. You're right.
Oh, Flying Dragon Films. First time commenter on this show. However, Flying Dragon Films. I recognize you from multiple comment streams on MHRT Network. Especially you and I, we were both very, very active during the neighborhood this week, on the other day. So thank you for joining. It's very nice to see you. So we have to toast you. Welcome to the Orange and Blue crew, Flying Dragon Films.
And he was saying that he wanted to keep Virgil and Brandon Johnson, and I had forgot that Brandon Johnson went to Pittsburgh, of all places. That is depressing because I love Brandon Johnson. I thought Brandon Johnson was a gem that we never really gave full shot to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Flying Dragon Films, I would never draft a round one receiver. There are certain receivers that I think warrant that kind of. Yeah. Now, do I think that every class has a round one level wide receiver? No, I don't. But I can tell you right now, and Mundungus is about to light me up. I promise you. But if Travis Hunter falls to the Broncos in this next draft, dude, Oh God, do I hope? And that's not that.
Oh.
That listen, that is. I am a Buffs fan. I am a CU Buffs fan. I've got 2 college teams. One is the team that Jay and I grew up rooting for as children. The other is the school that I went to. But I'm a Buffs fan, and I love Travis Hunter.
Shout out to Glenn Hauser for speaking truths on the 5280 podcast earlier tonight, but they had a whole discussion about that. Very entertaining.
I know Mundungus is about to light my ass up on this one, but if Travis Hunter falls to the Broncos somehow in this draft, take him. Take him immediately.
To be fair, Mundungus was like, he may be great, but he's not going to be the top wide receiver. And he's probably right. I would say there are, in the truest sense, if you want a dedicated wide receiver, there are other wide receivers coming out that may be better skilled, ready to go than Travis Hunter right out of the gate. But the novelty of Travis Hunter being able to play both sides of the ball, which I don't care what anyone says, he's going to get the opportunity. He will.
And I'm going to say this, not just playing both sides of the ball, playing at an elite level.
He's top
on
5
both sides of the ball.
both sides of the ball. Like,
yes.
Top 5. He might not be number 1, but he's top 5. He may not be number 1. Like,
he is the most dynamic player in college football. I would take him in a heartbeat in the first round.
He's a playmaker, athlete.
You know how in the first round, like the teams always let the clock really dwindle down before their pick gets in.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, dude, I'd be like, as soon as that last team put in their pick and I knew it wasn't Travis Hunter, I'd be like, rush to the podium with this pick.
Yep.
Go. We don't need to take any time on this.
He is an upstanding guy. He is not arrogant like some of the other Buffalo players, and even Buffalo haters should be able to admit to themselves that Travis Hunter is different. He is a 4.0, he is a all around, like just an overall amazing player. There's no knocks on him. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Another new name to us in the chat is Willie Snyder. Here's to you, Willie. Welcome to the Orange and Blue crew. For those that are wondering what the hell we're doing right now, every time we see a new name that we don't recognize, we toast them. We give them a toast. We welcome them to the Orange and Blue crew. Willie says, always true when you bleed orange and blue. I love it. Very Dr. Seuss, which is, I now have a little bit of a Dr. Seussian line in our bio every week now. I don't know if you've seen it, Jay, but if you read our bio beneath, it's something along the lines of, while many things do rhyme with blue, it's true, but Broncos Country knows that nothing rhymes with orange and blue.
Oh, there you go. That needs to be on a t-shirt. What are we doing?
Listen, I'm
merchandising opportunity.
This week, if I have some time, I might not, because I have some special plans this weekend. But if I have time, I'm doing new designs for not only Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, but for every single Orange and Blue Network show for the merch store.
Nice.
So, Willie says at MHRT Network. Yeah. Here's the thing, Willie. I don't know if you have been apprised of this. Jay and I, and several other members of the Orange and Blue Network, we were either founding members or early on members of the Mile High Roundtable. And we were there for a while, and then about 2 years ago, for reasons that we don't need to go into, we left for a while and formed our own network, Orange and Blue Network. The two have now come back together as a partnership. So that's why you're seeing this show on MHRT, but this is an Orange and Blue Network show on MHRT. If that makes sense. So welcome to the Orange and Blue crew. Willie asking, do we think we need to have a hands drill with Sutton? I think we need to have hands drills with every single receiving member of this team.
Yeah.
No one gets off the hook.
Other than Valet.
No. Don't even let him off the hook. Because here's the thing. He's been good, but, get better. It won't hurt him. It won't hurt him to do hand drills. I talked about in high school. We did what was it? I told you, Jay, Vaseline drills. Where we had
Gross.
to. It was awful. It was awful. But we put Vaseline on our hands, and then we had to try to catch the ball. And you're right. It was disgusting. What? It was really funny watching a bunch of football players walking to the behind the stands of the high school football field to the bathroom to try to wash Vaseline off their hands. But we, our receivers. I was not a receiver, but our receivers started catching the ball better after that because once they learned how to be able to grab a ball when their hands are slick and slippery, it was actually pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool. Let me see. Oh, in regards to the new partnership between Orange and Blue Network and Mile High Roundtable, it's like two great mob families coming together. Yeah, that's right. We made an offer we couldn't refuse. Uh,
Yeah, just
But,
just real quick, I just want to make sure get to this. Mundungus, I did not want to leave your comment out there. We will draft all the Mathises, just like our special teams coordinator back in the day said, if we could just have 53 Janos, we'd be all right.
that's right. Now I'm gonna bring this one up real quick from Jack Kenna asking, were the Broncos riding happy with Russell Wilson riding the pine, or would we wanted him to play? Dude, I was so pissed off.
I wanted him to play.
Oh, I wanted him to play.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. You can see him standing right here. That's a Russell Wilson figurine right there.
Should have broke that.
No, I won't do it. Jay, you know me, dude. Anything the Broncos, whether good or bad, if I have collected it, I keep it forever. I mean, I have, I wish you could see this room. This room is a shrine to the Denver Broncos. However, I have things piled up in the closet. I've got so much Broncos stuff.
I've gone so petty. I separated my Russell Wilson jersey from my other jerseys because he doesn't deserve to be in the lineup.
That's, it is what it is. I liked Russ. I just don't think he worked out. I think if he had been able to trade out of Seattle younger, he might have, and into a system that wasn't Sean Payton's, he could have actually been good for us. It just wasn't.
Or Hackett.
Wasn't a either one of those. It wasn't a marriage that was meant to work out.
He's gotten did dirty multiple times here. I would.
So that being said, even with my love of him, and I still have fondness for him. Being as Bo Nix one is now the guy that we call the guy, and is, I believe, the future. I think it would have been a very big boon to his self-esteem, to his confidence, and to just our fans if we'd been able to go out there and beat the dude that we just paid to leave.
Yeah, I really wanted to see that. I was very upset that he ducked.
All right, Mundungus here. Okay, he says dibs on the Godfather name. Well, I would fight you about it, but it was you who approached me to make amends for over previous grievances and bring these two networks back together. So you know what? It's yours. It's yours. I'll let you be the Godfather, and but just know the Godfather is never safe. There's always somebody ready to stab him in the back. So that's disgusting.
Did you have any Paxton gear? I guess I don't know that. Did you?
Nope. I never ever. Here's the thing. I never had faith in Paxton Lynch.
So I got one of the T-shirt jerseys. I had a T-shirt jersey of Paxton Lynch when we first got him because I did not want to invest in a Paxton Lynch jersey because I was a let's wait and see kind of thing. I'm low key. That's why I didn't buy a Bo Nix jersey this year either.
I'm still getting a Bo Nix jersey.
I usually kick the can down the road for a rookie. Let's see what they do after a year.
Here's the difference between you and I, is that and the difference between Bo Nix and Paxton Lynch. Okay. When we drafted Paxton Lynch, I was sitting down at JRTC. I was still in the Army, and I was down in Louisiana at the worst place on earth called Fort Polk. At JRTC, I had been out in the field for a month. I had without a shower. I smelled like ass. I looked like ass, and I felt like crap. But we had just come out of the field. We were getting, and all of us were just hanging around, waiting to come home to our families and back to our home, post and be done with Louisiana. And the first night of the draft happened to take place while the night that we got out of the field. And so I'm sitting there. My phone has not been touched for a month, but it still had enough battery for me to watch that pick in the draft. I went back to my cot. I sat down and I pulled up film of the Memphis tape on Paxton Lynch. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm going, why did we do this? What do they see in him? I don't see it. And so I was never a Paxton Lynch guy. I never had faith in him. And so, no, I never bought I do not have a single memorabilia, merchandise, I don't even have a Paxton Lynch card, football card.
I do have
because I had no faith in the guy. Now, the flip side, like I said, the difference. When I go back and watch Oregon film on Bo Nix, I am ecstatic that he is my quarterback right now. And I think, as a rookie right now, who is still developing, because I think we have something in him. I really do. And I will die on that hill.
I only say that it could get rough only because if he gets 2 years, if we go this whole rookie year here and it doesn't look great, and we have the scapegoat of like, all right, our roster sucks. Like we gotta build our roster. We get tons of money and freed up next year. We spend money. We get a good team together. Next year, we still go lay an egg. I don't look for Sean Payton to even be here. And then when you have a turnover like that, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So I love Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix could be a successful NFL quarterback, but fit is everything. And he fits with Sean Payton, but I'm not for certain Sean Payton's here for the long haul, for the long run of really rebuilding a team. I don't know if Sean Payton necessarily signed up for that. So we'll see.
But we'll see. Again, I say it every week. Famous words of Steve Atwater. We'll see.
Yep.
But I'm
we'll
going to bring this up. I'm going to bring this one up. And then I've got one more I want to bring up from Mundungus. But this one's from Blitz. Be repping, popping in, saying, I had a Drew Lock jersey. I can't lie, Baki.
Now, I love Drew Lock. I was all on the Drew Lock train. Drew! I was all on that.
There. I still have a Drew Lock jersey. In fact, get ready for this. I have two, although one of them is University of Missouri, because that's my alma mater. I went to the University of Missouri. I was on Isaiah and I, the other founder of Orange and Blue Network, co-host who didn't make it tonight. You can see it right there in the middle of Jay's shirt, actually. There he is. The middle of that Oreo. He and I were actually on Broadway in Nashville, 2019 draft live when they picked Drew Lock, and I was jumping around and screaming because I was such a big, Mizzou and Drew Lock fan. I already had that Mizzou Drew Lock jersey, so naturally, as soon as that happened, I went out and bought my Broncos Drew Lock jersey. They are still hanging up in my closet side by side, and they will always be there. In fact, but here's the thing, like I said, I don't get rid of any of my Broncos stuff, ever, no matter how good or bad. I have my Russell Wilson still. I have my Drew Lock still. So they're still hanging in my closet side by side, Drew Lock. And so there's no shame in that. Now here, Mundungus is doing something that I have not done once since we've announced the partnership of Orange and Blue Network and MHRT. He is announcing to the world what happened between us that caused us to leave in the first place. I'm not one to ever speak ill of other people. I try not to. but Mundungus is throwing it out there, so I'm going to read it. He says, just to clarify for those that don't know, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, I was being way too controlling over the network, and that wasn't what the network was about. Johnny is doing fantastic with the Orange and Blue network, and it just made sense to bring them back as partners. I've realized the error of my ways and made amends, and I'm really excited to have these guys back. Hey, you know what? When you called me, Mike, and you said, I apologize. I was, things, I'm not doing things the way that I was back when you left, and I'm sorry. I was amazed. I was amazed, and I had such mad respect for you for being willing to come out and admit that. And that's wholly the reason that, with Orange and Blue Network, every single member, we're currently a 7-member network. We're looking to expand, but we're not there yet. But that's why, as soon as that happened, I was willing to take it to a vote with the rest of the members of Orange and Blue Network to partner back up with MHRT, not dissolve and go and return to MHRT, but rather partner. And I love that. I love that we have. I'm very excited. Like I said, I'm so excited. Jay, you remember Isaiah and I, we were there as part of the founding of the neighborhood back when it first came about. I am so freaking pumped that on the 29th, I get to host the neighborhood. Like I never thought in a million years that would be something that would happen ever again, but it's happening, and I'm so excited. So we're very happy to be back with MHRT Network in a partnership capacity, or any capacity for that matter. So really, thank you, Mike.
29th. Oh, that's the Jets game, right?
It's the Jets game. Yep.
Me and Taiwan, the fancy guy, will be at that game together.
Yes, you will. That's right. We're definitely going to have to get some. We're definitely going to have to get some clips of you guys at least pregame during the game day show. Let's see. Flying Dragon Film says totally Costranosa vibes. I'm not sure I totally get that comment. And I do. I absolutely.
Is that like the Elvis Casanova?
No, I don't think so.
You probably don't know what that is, but.
But I do apologize. I admit to ignorance. Flying Dragon. I don't know what that means, but so thank you. Blitz asking you off topic, Jay. How do you feel about Russell Westbrook on our beloved Nuggets? I'm not too happy with the pick, but love your opinion on it.
It is not what Russell Westbrook will bring on the court, is what he will bring off the court. He is going to transform the mentality of one Jamal Murray, and he will put the fire back under his ass and create the Maul that we had earlier in his career that he has gotten complacent in the past couple of years. So we are going to see a Jamal Murray we've never seen before, and that is a direct correlation to Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has legendary work ethic and is a crazy motivator on every single team he's ever been. So I love that pick, actually.
I was the same way. Which
I hope he doesn't shoot a three. Don't shoot a three, and we're all good, Russell Westbrook.
No. Russell Westbrook does not shoot threes. But
yeah.
Jay, for those that don't,
like 30%.
For those that don't know, Jay and I both diehard Nuggets fans. I actually have quite a few pieces of Nuggets memorabilia hanging around this room as well. Got to meet Nikola Jokic's brother during the second round in Denver against the Timberwolves this last year. That was fun. But Jay and I will actually be debuting a Nuggets podcast on the Orange and Blue Network and MHRT Network coming up closer to the season. We're going to call it Not Your Toddler's Nuggets. So you guys be ready for that, because for the Nuggets fans out there, that's coming now too. Flying Dragon Films, let's go Nuggets! That's right.
For real.
That's right. MV4, can you say it, Jay? I mean, I have my Nikola Jokic MV3 t-shirt.
Yeah, we'll be hard pressed. We'll be hard pressed to do that again, but we'll see. I think it's money's Luca.
Oh, Mundungus.
Dude,
Oh,
you're breaking my balls, Mundungus. Like,
do you
breaking
actually even
my
care about
balls.
basketball? Have you ever even watched a basketball game? I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys,
Timberwolves.
we are literally coming up on an hour and a half now. This is longer than we go ever. We've gone from, see, that's what's great about Nothing Rhymes. We've gone from talking Broncos and feeling down and feeling our feelings to now we're just sitting here bullshitting and enjoying enjoying just yakking and talking and laughing. Let's see. Blitz says, darn, you guys do Nuggets podcast as well. Looks like you boys stuck with me all year. That's right. Yeah, it's coming.
And I got
coming,
hot
Blitz.
opinions on the Nuggets, so you get ready.
Willie Snyder, I really appreciate the content, fellas. Born and raised in the Mile High City and love everyone's content. Well, we appreciate that. Jay and I
Very
were
much.
both born in Longmont, Colorado. Jay unfortunately moved away when he was a baby. No, you were about 5. You were what, 5, 6 when you moved away?
6. Yeah.
Yeah. I lived there till I was 18, and then I, went off to college, met my wife, joined the army, and I've moved all over. And now neither Jay or I live anywhere near the Mile High City. But you know what? Wherever I'm standing, that's Broncos country. That's just how it is. I love my Denver sports. I love my
Broncos
city.
country.
Yeah, right here. We will always love our Denver sports, except for the Rockies, because
F them.
Yeah,
Dick Monfort, sell the team.
It's the only Denver team I do not claim is the Colorado Rockies. And that's fine. But Avalanche, Nuggets, Broncos, even in soccer, go Rapids. And we love them. So let's see. Flying Dragon Films, born and raised in Congress Park. Okay. So yeah, I mean, all kinds of mile high natives, true natives. Love it. Flying Dragon. Mike can't name the Wolves starting 5. I mean, you know what's funny? I was at two games of that series. I was at both game. What was it? I was at game 5 for sure. I think I was at game 3 as well.
Actually, technically, I went to 2 Wolves games too, because I went to a regular season game against the Wolves.
Yeah, but you and I went to 1 game that series.
Yeah, and then you went to game 7, right?
And then I went to game 7. So yeah, you and I went to game 5 together, and then I went back to game 7. Because I had just happened to still be in town. So it was painful.
Blitz, dude. Come on, man.
Red Wings of all the teams. Of all the teams.
Boo.
Hey, although Jay, you and I can claim one thing when it comes to Avalanche Red Wings history. You, me, and our grandfather were in attendance at the bloodiest game in the history of the NHL between the Avalanche and the Red Wings when the entire ice had to be cleared and the game canceled because there was too much blood on the ice. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I've had a deep hated for the Red Wings for long time. That's probably my largest, if I got drafted in the NHL to the Red Wings, I'd probably say I'm not playing.
Fully John Elway them. Look, I'm not playing for the Colts. I'm gonna go play baseball.
No thanks. I'll go play ping pong.
A 6'10" Mexican says, "Go Blackhawks." You're fired.
Whatever.
No.
I don't have
That being said, guys, I've loved sitting here for the last half hour, of the show, just bullshitting you. Blood Monday. Thank you, Willie Snyder. Jay and I were at that game with our grandfather, and that was one of the most insane experiences of our lives. Was what was witnessing in person Blood Monday. Yes, loved when Waugh gave a beat down to Osgood, dude. That remains one of my favorite moments in sports history. Was when
the
Waugh
beatdown
left the
of Mike
goal.
Vernon, I thought was better, but both are phenomenal.
To watch Patrick Waugh come out of the goal and beat anybody down was like the greatest experience ever. Because that dude was goalies aren't usually that scrappy. They really aren't. Patrick Waugh
is a psychopath. Like,
Yeah, but hey, he's still Patrick Waugh. He is royalty in Denver.
he is. He's a side hurdle.
I remember when Blitz says, I remember when Stud used to beat up Patrick Waugh. Yeah, that was good. He didn't beat him up. Patrick Waugh won that fight.
Yeah. I don't think Patrick Waugh's
Anyway.
ever lost a fight.
I don't think he has. To this day, he's an old
His
man
whole
now,
life.
you know? I don't think
Yeah.
he's ever lost a fight.
Well,
Anyway,
he's coach for the
for real,
Islanders last year. I don't remember
yeah.
if he still is. But
Yeah. No, I mean the Islanders did well enough. I don't think he got fired. So, anyway, guys. That's right. Speaking of, real quick, other Denver sports. Chauncey Billups. I have been in touch, and hopefully within the next few weeks, probably in the next month or two, hopefully we will finally get our Chauncey Billups interview on this show. Obviously I would love to wait until we get the Not Your Toddler's Nuggets podcast started. But the head coach of the Trailblazers last season, former Nuggets player, Chauncey Billups, great dude. I'm so excited that we finally get to speak with him.
Mr. Big Shot.
That will be coming up soon. So anyway, that being said, guys, we really do need to roll out of here because it's getting late. And
I gotta go to Tinkletown.
Yeah, you gotta take, I definitely do too. And I gotta work tomorrow. So it's been a lot of fun talking Broncos and then just sitting here BSing about Denver sports and everything else with you guys. But we're gonna go ahead and start the roll out of here. So guys, thank you for joining us for a fun episode on a nice, September evening of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue here on the Orange and Blue Network and on the Mile High Round Table. If you have not already, please jump on over to Orange and Blue Network on YouTube, X, Facebook, and find us wherever on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. Give us a like, subscribe, and share over there, guys. And then jump on over to MHRT Network. Give us a like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch, and we're even on Instagram. Come check us out, guys. Go ahead and do that. We're going to be back this Sunday for the Get Bucked Game Day show 1 hour before game time. We also have the Get the Buck Your Feelings post-game show right after the game and right after the Neighborhood goes off the air on MHRT Network, which, by the way, the Neighborhood will also now broadcast live every single game day on Orange and Blue Network as well. Full day game day coverage on both networks. So that's pretty exciting. Don't forget to check out Orange and Blue Network's other awesome lineups to include the Broncos Talk tomorrow night, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. featuring a 6'10" Mexican Adon Diaz and Ty Y, the fantasy guy. We got other news shows coming up soon. There's, of course, the Fresh Squeeze breaking news podcast. And we also have Isaiah's video breakdowns on Orange and Blue Blitz. Guys, we really appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you for your time. And you know what? Regardless of the outcome, it is still so good to see Broncos football. So I'm going to leave you simply with Go Broncos!
Orange and blue, we're here for you. Talking Broncos all day through. No stopping us, we're on the loose. Come join the crew, no bad news. Podcast vibes so fresh and true. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Catching up on all that we knew.